Hare Krishna and welcome to ISKCON's Festival of India here in Poland along the Baltic Sea coast, summer 2018. We've actually been conducting this festival here in Poland on the north coast for 29 years now. And it started off small. There was actually just 7 of us. You can imagine just a little tiny event we had on the beach. But in the last 29 years, it's built up to this great cultural extravaganza. It's called Festival of India. And it's a family event. We have something for everyone in the family, something for the children, something for the adults, even the grandmothers and the grandfathers. And our whole concept is to give people an experience. It's not just a festival where you come and you're entertained by a stage show or any of the other attractions. Actually, we want people to get the experience of the Festival of India. More specifically, we want to get them the experience of devotional service to Krishna. We like to say that our festival actually represents Goloka Vrindavan. And to do that, we have many different exhibits and many different tents where people can come and, you could say, engage in devotional service to Krishna, because that's the secret. Krishna says in the Gita that he can be understood as he is only by devotional service, and when one is in full consciousness of him by such devotional service, one can enter into the kingdom of God. So it has to start somewhere. The living entity falls from the spiritual sky. He's forgetful. So we have to reawaken him and, give people the opportunity to do a little bit of devotional service in the form of engaging their senses in a transcendental way. So that's the concept of our event. We have many different tents here depicting different aspects of India's culture in different ways people can be engaged. So we'd like to give you the experience as well. Those of you who are watching this video, we're going to take you on a short tour of all the different tents and let you see what this festival is like. And we found that this is it's a very nice formula for spreading Krishna consciousness, for introducing people to devotional service to Krishna, and we feel that it can be used anywhere in the world. So you can replicate it wherever you are on this planet. So let's go and see some of the exhibits that we're doing here at our Festival of India.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
So there's a saying in Vedic culture, Phalina Parichate, you judge something by the results. So you can see that our formula, it works. Actually at this moment we have thousands of people here at this event. We get anywhere between 3,000 and 5,000 people every evening. And after a morning and afternoon of Harinam Sankirtan, we'll give out invitations and invite people to come. And here you can see this is the cooking demonstration. This is one of the more popular tents that we have here. People like to eat. And our food is actually very popular in this country. We're known all over the world for our food actually, but especially here in Poland, people love our prasadam. So we don't just have a restaurant where they can come and purchase the prasadam, but we actually teach them how to cook it here. It's, they're engaged, they're seeing, they're smelling. Sometimes they come forward and they help prepare the preparation or something like that. And naturally, while the devotee is explaining, how to cook prasadam, they're explaining the whole theory behind being vegetarian, the importance of being vegetarian, the value of being vegetarian, etc. So this is one of our most popular booths where people come and watch a cooking demonstration and participate. Again, engaging in devotional service.
Jaya Krishna, Jaya Vrindavan, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Vrindavan, Shri Govinda Gopi Nata. Shri Govinda Gopi
Another one of our more popular tents is the astrology tent. One of our devotees, Mathuranath, he's well studied in astrology, and nowadays astrology is something that's pretty much accepted in the West. When we started this event almost 30 years ago, people were a little bit uneasy when they heard about astrology, but now, modern times, astrology is very popular, and so people come and they inquire about their future, but we're not simply interested in showing people what is their destiny, because it's always mixed. This material world is a combination of happiness and distress, so it's not, we're just revealing people what is the good and the bad that's coming up in the future, but we're giving them the positive alternative of Krishna consciousness. Ultimately, when you read anyone's chart, it's going to be a mixed bag, and people can get a little bit upset or depressed. So what we always do is we always offer the positive alternative, that they can engage in Krishna consciousness. So more often than not, after visiting with Mathuranath and having their chart read, people walk out with the Bhagavad Gita. Or they walk out with a set of japa beads. And this is the goal of our astrology tent, to engage people in pure devotional service, pure devotional activities, Krishna consciousness. So they read Gita and they chant Hare Krishna, and this is ultimately the solution to all problems, back home, back to Godhead.
Krishno, ty zawsze wygrywasz. Daj mi chociaż raz pokonać jakiegoś demona.
No dobrze, Balaramo, pokaż swoją siłę i rozpraw się z tym gorylem.
So this tent is a tent where people can come and make a pot out of clay, actually. It's a very engaging activity. People are fascinated. There's our potter, our devotee there. He takes the clay and he's got the machine there, and they make the cups, they make the bowls, and people are holding it and doing it, and then they're painting it afterwards. And all the while, the potter's speaking Krishna conscious philosophy in a very simple way, explaining simple living with high thinking. The whole idea behind Varnashram Dharma, where we go back to the land, we live off the land, we protect the cows. Like Prabhupada said, if you've got an acre of land and a cow, all your economic needs are met. So these type of things are discussed with people when they're touching the clay and making the clay pot and so forth. It's just a way, again, of engaging people and introducing them in a very attractive way to the Krishna conscious philosophy. One of our most popular tents you can see, especially for the children. It's very engaged. They get to keep the pot. So again, we judge something by the result. Actually, often when Prabhupada would travel into the temples, around the temples in our movement, he would ask devotees, how many books have you distributed? How many devotees have you made? How many temples have you opened? So we judge the success of this big cultural extravaganza in one sense by how many books are sold here. We don't go around and distribute books at the festival. That's not our process. We just let people come and enjoy and experience and get a spiritual awakening. And the natural result of that is they want to inquire. So there's no book distribution on the grounds, but still we find people flock to the book tent. As you can see, it's crowded. It's crowded all the whole 5 hours of our festival. It's always crowded, and I always consider it the success when I see people walking away with the Bhagavad Gita or Ishrapanishad or any one of Srila Prabhupada's books. So it's popular, and it's natural that after coming to the festival, people want to inquire about what is this experience they're having. They want to go deeper. So we encourage them to come here. They naturally come and they buy a book, and then they take it home, and then they continue on their journey of self-realization, Krishna consciousness. So the book tent, one of the most important. So this is our yoga tent. This is Karuna Manjari. She's our yoga teacher. She's the wife of the astrologer Mathuranath, and she's a certified yoga teacher, and she's teaching Hatha Yoga. Now, of course, in the Bhagavad Gita we read how Arjuna more or less rejected Hatha Yoga as being too difficult. It's not really the process for this age. But as it's being taught in modern times, it's quite a simplified version. It's yoga asanas, which is good for health and controlling the mind and senses. So we teach that yoga, but naturally as the devotee is teaching the yoga and she's also explaining about the perfection of yoga, which is bhakti yoga. Prabhupada would describe yoga as a ladder. There's different steps on the yoga ladder. Hatha Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Raja Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. So again, when people leave, they don't just have the experience of Hatha Yoga, but we plant that seed in their mind that the highest yoga is one of connecting with God, with Krishna, through love and devotion. So in each tent, there's an attraction, but the seed of Krishna consciousness is planted in the person's heart, so they can continue on the path of devotional service to Krishna, which ultimately takes us back home, back to Godhead. So, the yoga tent. This is the makeup tent where the girls and ladies can come and get the flowers painted on their faces. We're very lucky, we're very fortunate. We have devotees from all over the world on our festival tour, 14 different countries. And especially the girls from Ukraine and Russia, they're very artistic. So they're painting these flowers on people's faces. We say that in India, when there's a festival event, in the villages, the tradition is the girls dress up with we call the gopi dots. So it may not be, an anga, a limb of devotional service, gopi dots, but Rupa Goswami did say, somehow or other, engage people in devotional service, somehow or other. So we have to be a little innovative. Actually, as time goes on, we have to preach according to time, place, and circumstances without compromising the tradition. So this is an innovative way of getting people interested in coming to the event. And from here they'll go to another tent and inquire deeper. So it's just kind of a fun thing that we add. Krishna consciousness, we've got a lot of competition. The material energy is very attractive. So at these cultural events we have to make Krishna consciousness more attractive than the material energy. And it can be, because Krishna is all attractive. So this is part of our event, just to get people engaged, to get them to come, put on the, the makeup and take a photo and send it home. And it's fun. It's Krishna conscious fun. Very successful. People love it. Actually, we go on Harinam the next day. Our events are usually 3 days. As we're going along the beach, we see so many of the children with the gopi dots on from the previous evening. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Behind me is the restaurant. Speaks for itself. People love Hare Krishna food. We're famous for that all over the world. So we have a crew of about 50 or 60 devotees who are involved in the preparation of the prasadam in the morning, transporting the prasadam, selling the prasadam, but the lines are always long. And we make sure that we have really first-class prasadam. Actually, the whole festival, we tried to do everything first class. Make it professional, make it first class, make it colorful, exotic, make it devotional, but just make it really, really attractive, just engage people's senses. So it's often said that spiritual life begins by controlling the tongue. So prasadam is the natural way. They say it's been said it's Lord Chaitanya's secret weapon. So we make really, really nice prasadam, and people line up, and we find that after the first day, on our second day of our festival, or third day of the festival in a particular town, sometimes people come with big containers to take home the samosas or the kachoris or whatever they're attracted to. Actually, on a daily basis, we're making about 600 to 700 samosas for our events. Again, we get thousands of people, so samosas are the most popular. So the restaurant, and behind me there's the little theater for engaging the children, theatrical performance, puppet shows. Off to my right we have seminars about life and to deal with life and how to transcend this world and go back to the spiritual world. We have a tent over here, it's called Spiritual Fashions, where ladies can come and put on a sari. We have thousands of saris that are donated by our congregation, ISKCON's congregation in India. They're very kind. The ladies donate saris to our festival program here in Poland. We'll have anywhere between 10 and 20,000 saris donated every year. And they can come and put them on for free. And actually the final kirtan, after the final kirtan, all those who have participated in the kirtan, they come up on the stage and we dress them in saris. They get to keep those saris. They can take them home. A little special opulence there. So that free gift, people really appreciate that. They love the kirtan, they love the gift of the sari, they love the experience here. So just kind of creating the mood of Vaikuntha, that place where there's no anxiety, and what's more, Goloka, where spiritual life is eternal, full of knowledge and blissful. That's our cultural extravaganza festival of India this year, summer 2018 on the Baltic Sea coast. Hare Krishna.
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.